At Optivia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation one healthy habit at a time. The following audio contains the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optivia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope these stories inspire you to continue your journey with or join Optivia, but please note they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optivia. Additionally, this audio may contain income or earning representations of some independent Optivia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optivia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optivia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optivia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optivia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optivia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optivia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the Optivia team.
So welcome to our Transformation Stories to Share. My name is Susan Pallas. I am an independent certified Optivia coach and have been for 12 years. This is my beautiful family. My husband, Andy, I've been married to for 30 years. And these pictures of us, my daughter, Lauren, 23, my son, Jay is 20. And these are pictures of the things that we get to do now that we didn't get to do before. And in the right-hand corner, there is a lot of our team. We have Healthy Habits for All. And each year, Optivia does, where we give to people who, health in communities that need it. And we raised money. You'll hear from her tonight, the woman who organized it, for a playground. I think we raised like $4,000 or $5,000 for these children. So Optivia has just been touched my life. Before I was a coach, I was a stressed out yoga teacher. I really wanted to be in wellness after getting unhealthy in my corporate job. But while I loved it, there was a couple of challenges: time and money. Time, because I was working when other people weren't. People want to take classes nights, weekends. And so I missed so many things. I did my corporate stuff in the daytime at lunchtime. So I couldn't go to lunch with my kids at school. And I missed their whole sports seasons because I taught on the weekends. And if I didn't work, I didn't get paid, and my family needed our income. And speaking of income, there wasn't much of it. In fact, every time taxes came around, my husband would go, "You better love what you're doing because you're not making any money." And it put a tremendous amount of financial strain on him. And no matter how many classes I added, I was just getting more stressed out, and it was never enough. We didn't get to go to restaurants. The stress was tremendous, trying to figure out how to pay all the bills. We have a son, our son Jay was born with a congenital heart defect. And so our bills, he's great now. He's wonderful. We're so blessed, but they're astronomical. Our health insurance at the time was huge. And so we didn't do vacations and restaurants. So when a nutritionist friend told me about this program, she taught classes too, and we always used to lament about them. I was skeptical, but I tried the program and it worked so well for me. I go, there has got to be other people who really need this. And my husband's an accountant, thought it was a great business plan. So I have to say, if things weren't so bad for us, I may not have taken the risk and the chance to step out there and do it. But 12 years later, I cannot imagine life without coaching. First, the meaning and purpose that I get from helping people in areas that I have struggled with. We have a community of people that are doing good for, so many lives are being touched. You're going to meet some of them tonight. and relieving my husband of financial stress. There is nothing better than helping my family. We paid off all of our debt. We've paid for our kids to go to college so they didn't incur debt. We contribute to every dance-a-thon. Any kid that's selling anything, they come to me and it's, yes, of course. And we made so many memories. I was able to just take off in the middle of the week when my daughter wanted to go skiing. We went to North Carolina. We get to like, okay, where do you want to go this year? I don't think my kids even recognize their lives anymore. And we get to just pick a place and get an VRBO. And so, we just bought a house. We have so much time to enjoy it. So, and because I work from home, it's really very special because we have thrived during this time. And I guess I just have to say, so many people are hurting right now, especially in the fitness industry that I was in. I can't even imagine what people are going through. But I do have to say that out of that harsh time came something so wonderful. So that is my hope for everybody going through a hard time right now. It can open up opportunities that you would never have looked at before and can change your life in a way that you won't even recognize. So what is the problem, basically? And worldwide obesity has tripled. And then the financial stress, it says one of the statistics is a third of our adult partners report that money is a major source of conflict in their relationship. And I have to say that is so true, because when my son was diagnosed with this heart condition, my husband and I, we were just grieving together, and we were positive. We were thinking, okay, well, he can't do this, but he can do this. And we were just coming up with, we were really together on it. But when the financial pressures hit, I promise you, it was not, there was blame flying. We were not understanding and, hugging each other and coming up with solutions. No, it wasn't bad. And so many, the rates of depression and anxiety have increased so much since July. So yeah, we've got a big problem here. So I get to introduce you to part of the solution. Dee and Larry Korchan, they are some of my favorite people. And Larry comes from the financial services industry. So he really took a look at what this program could do. So Dee and Larry, take it over.
Thank you, Susan. And we're both so excited to be here and share about our journey in this unbelievable opportunity called Optivia. For us, it started over 9 years ago. Our two boys were in high school, and like most boys, they needed us less and less for day-to-day items. Mostly, can I have the keys to the car and feed me was primarily it. Dee had been stay-at-home and worked as a fitness trainer part-time. I was in investment management my whole life, and things were good. But looking ahead, the question for Dee was, what was she going to do as the boys moved on to college and as we hit empty nesters? I wanted her to have a passion. Thankfully, soon after that conversation, a doctor friend of ours introduced us to Optivia. He was introducing it into his practice and thought Dee, with her background and passion for health, that it was a good fit for her, and it was. With my background in investments, I read everything, and the structured business framework was simple to understand, and the need, as Susan mentioned prior, is so great. That is exactly an opportunity any business person or entrepreneur would love. We started our business. As a result, working with our mentorship team, Dee grew the business daily, and I participated part-time in addition to my corporate career. Fast forward, we've helped thousands of people get healthy and helped people with new careers in coaching. In addition, a year and a half ago, as it goes in corporate America, my company was looking to downsize, and I elected to leave and pursue coaching full time as well. You see, this business afforded us options to build something of our own, helping us grow our future in a way we never saw. And frankly, we were so excited, we wanted to share this with the world. And our rewards are numerous. First, we now help this struggling world with healthy mind, healthy body, and healthy finances. And being in service to people and helping them change their lives and see a future is so rewarding for us. Personally, we've both grown tremendously in our relationships. Financially, we're enhancing our finances for our later years, and we're giving more than ever to our passions in the community and the world. And we are spending time traveling pre-COVID, of course, and we recently purchased the second home as a retreat for our family and friends. We're blessed by Optivia and excited to see what other dreams we can come up with. Dee, why don't you share?
Yeah, it's been an amazing journey. If you think about it, 9 years ago, I was re-entering the workforce or looking what I was going to do, and I didn't know what that was going to look like. And being out of the workforce for a while, it was kind of a scary time for me. My confidence was low, and we liked the idea of owning a business, but we didn't know what that would look like. And I didn't know what it might require of me or of us. So when the business opportunity was presented, it made perfect sense. I was willing to look at it because it was in my, field of health and wellness. So that seemed to make sense. But the most important thing was the simplicity of the business model, because the program was there, the business model was there, the process was there, the technology and the website was there, the training was there. So all I had to do was have the courage to say yes, and then be willing to learn. And I would say my journey with Optivia, although I've had some health benefits that are amazing, my journey has really been about healthy mind and personal growth. Because when I stepped into this, I didn't know what I didn't know. I didn't know what was possible within Optivia. I didn't know what was possible for us, and I didn't know what was possible within me. So by getting out of my comfort zone and being willing to learn and grow and invest in myself, I learned that I had gifts and talents and really kind of feel like I found my place in the world and can use those in a big way to make a big impact with other people. I am an introvert. This didn't come naturally, but I've got great mentors like Susan and others that have really helped me step into who I needed to be for this. And there's a quote by John Glenn, and it says that we are most fulfilled when we are involved in something bigger than us. And this is a mission, and it has purpose, and it's a reason to get out of bed every day. And I believe that's what everybody is looking for. So this has done so much for us personally, but it's only because we're able to pay this gift forward. The fact that I can be with other people, awaken them like I was awakened to what is possible, help them dream again, give them the tools and the support to be able to make it their reality and create the life that they want is really the biggest blessing of it all. So we are so very grateful. Susan, thank you for the opportunity to share tonight.
Oh, I just love what you guys help people create in their lives, and y'all have made a tremendous impact for so many. So who is Optivia? We're a company committed to providing solutions for creating optimal health. There is over 30,000 independent Optivia health coaches and health professionals. And our co-founder on the right is independent Optivia coach and physician Dr. Wayne Scott Anderson. He's also a New York Times best-selling author. He is a visionary and a mentor and has just been an amazing force for this movement. And our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. Medifast is our parent company, and Medifast has been around 30 years. They're a proven leader for meal replacements, 30 years, leader in the industry. Products and programs have been proven safe and effective. Clinical studies done by researchers at major teaching hospitals. It's an American company, owns its own R&D, manufacturing, and warehousing facilities. Strong corporate and field leadership. It's a New York Stock Exchange company, financially very solid, and it's US based. And just this week, we were voted #2 by Fortune magazine, top 100 fastest growing companies, ahead of Netflix, ahead of Amazon, ahead of Etsy, and the only health and wellness company on that top 100 list. And we were #2. And we have impacted over 1 million lives. Pretty darn incredible, and having a lot of fun doing it. So as I said, our mission is lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. We've got 4 components. We've got your independent Optivia coach. So, everybody who wants to get better at anything has a coach. Put in the chat a heart or your coach's name or just some appreciation for your coach, because the coach is the backbone of our program. We have the Habits of Health transformational system. This changes mind and our body and helps us ensure these habits for the future. Our Optivia community, which you're a part of right now, is just it embraces all of us. And like Dee said, we're all moving in the same direction, all committed to something really great. And our Optivia fuelings, learning how to eat in a way that balances blood sugar, that helps us. These are fabulous tools to help us get results quickly and safely, predictable results. And what do we offer? We offer what we call the trilogy of optimal health. It's made up of a healthy body, a healthy mind, and healthy finances that help us create a healthy life. And I get to introduce Meg Johnson. Meg, we all work as a team, but Meg spearheaded our Playground Healthy Habits for All initiative. And I wouldn't get to know Meg if it wasn't for Dee. So Meg, will you please share your story with us?
Yes. Hey, Susan. Hey, everyone. My name is Meg Johnson, and I am an Optivia coach. And those are words that I never thought I would say just a few years ago. And you see, 4 years ago, I was a stay-at-home mom, just trying to make it through the day. I was unhealthy in my body, unhealthy in my mind, and especially unhealthy in my finances. And when I started this program, it was a gift from my husband because he knew I was just surviving through my life. I didn't feel like myself, and I was lonely for community and for connection. And not only that, but I wasn't healthy, which translated into a lack of confidence, which made it hard for me to find my community. So Optivia really helped me to lose 30 pounds and find myself again. My husband, he got his life back again. And I went from merely surviving to thriving. And when you get healthy after struggling for so long, you just want other people to feel the same way. And so I became a coach because I wanted other people to find freedom in their health. And I wanted it especially for my mom. And she started our program and she lost 100 pounds. And I've got to tell you, it was a joy and a privilege to walk alongside her. And Optivia has given me so much more than just the tools to get healthy. I found a community, and as cheesy as it sounds, I found a place to belong. I found a place where I can use my gifts and I can make an impact on the world. And as a stay-at-home mom, I needed to have an impact outside the walls of my home. And I never imagined when I said yes to coaching that it would awaken my true self and that it would awaken my inner entrepreneur. I didn't even know I had an inner entrepreneur. Coaching not only gave me a place to belong, and it gave me community and friends and mentors that I deeply love, but it brought us financial opportunities that I didn't know would be possible as a stay-at-home mom. You see, when I made the decision to quit my professional career, I did so knowing that our finances would be tight. Trips and extras were just not going to be possible. And that was the way that it was going to be. Now, fast forward to life now, I get to live life on my own terms with my children in tow. And you know what? They get a mom who is thriving. And my husband, he has a wife who is thriving. And not just that, but there's been a shift that I've seen in him, a shift that he doesn't feel the financial pressure that comes from making the choice to have a parent stay at home. And when I think back on myself 4 years ago, man, I am so glad that I made a decision to push through the fear and use my story to help other people. That decision, it changed a lot of lives, and it changed my family for the better. 4 years ago, if you would have told me a night like tonight would have been happening, I would not have believed you. If you would have told me about my health or my business or the lives that have been impacted, I for sure would not have believed you about that either. All I know is I am so grateful and so thankful that I said yes. And I'm thankful, Susan, for the privilege of sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Meg. Put the hearts in the chat. What inspired you about what Meg shared? So incredible. Thank you. So we need to go to the next slide. All right. So what are some of the benefits of becoming an Optivia coach? You've already seen it's changed a number of lives. One, it reinforces your decision to be healthy. I have to say, also put in the chat, if your health has been impacted by your decision to become a coach and help someone else, whether it's one person or many people, put one in the chat if your health has been impacted by your decision. I know so many, for me, definitely. We get to pay it forward and make a difference. Like, Dee and Meg have said, we get to make a difference for somebody. It's fun and rewarding, and we're compensated not only financially, but the currency of goodwill. And we get to leave a legacy. We get to spread health to many generations to come. So there's a progressive growth model. And along the way, you learn different skills. As Meg said, you don't necessarily know how to be a coach, but we'll tell you a little bit about that training. But you're first an Optivia coach where you support clients. And then you become an Optivia, a business coach and I didn't know how to be, I didn't want to be a business coach. And I remember one of my early clients said, how do I do what you do? And I go, I don't know. So I called my coach, and she walked me through the whole thing. And this coach, she didn't even know she got paid. She just wanted to do what I did because I was having fun. And then as your coaches grow, you will become a business leader. And all along the way, you will learn new skills and you will rise to the occasion because we've got this great mentorship program. So how does it work? It's a relational model. It's focused on optimal well-being. We are looking for people who are looking for an answer. We're self-employed, we're independent. You can do it full-time, you can do it part-time, spare time. There's very low startup costs, as Larry had said, and that was so important for us at the time. No inventory or operating costs. Flexible business hours, so you can work from anywhere, and there's no quotas or minimum purchases, and that's huge. And we have a lot of training and support. So what kind of support? A little bit about what support we have. We have a comprehensive training program, our Optivia Learning Center. You learn as you earn. So it's a style training. You're going to work with a business coach, excuse me, and a mentorship team. And we employ team coaching. So you apprentice as you grow. So when I didn't know what to do, when someone wanted to be a coach, my coach knew what to do and could walk me through it and do it with me. You get to work at your own pace. There's no one, telling you when you have to be there, what you have to do. And there's all kinds of local and regional, national wellness and training events.
Well, hi, my name is Lauren Youmans, and I am honored tonight to be able to share my story. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So I started coaching 2.5 years ago, and at the time I was a full-time nurse practitioner, and I had a 1-year-old who is in the bottom of that middle picture, who is now 3.5. And I had started coaching actually just after being on the program myself for a month. And I really had no idea when I started coaching how much it would impact my life and change my life. I just knew that in that 1 month that I was on the program, I had the hope that I could reach a healthy weight for the first time in my adult life. I was an energized mom for the first time since my baby had been born. And I felt incredible. I had confidence. I was gaining confidence. And I felt the incredible support of this community. And I knew I had to share this. And I had people on my heart who I wanted to share this with. So I jumped in. I was busy, y'all. I was working 10-hour days as a nurse practitioner. I was on call all the time. I had a 1-year-old. So my initial goal was I just wanted to help 5 people. I was like, I would love to just help 5 people. I had a few people on my heart. But I did that. And then I was having so much fun and so much fulfillment from that I just kept sharing. And those 5 people turned into 10 people, turned into 15. It just kept going. And honestly, within a few months, I realized that this could be an avenue for me to have time freedom in my life, for me to be a present mom. And, at this point, I was dropping off my daughter every day at daycare to go work 10 hours away from her. And she would bang on the door. I remember vividly, it was a glass door, and she would just bang on it and beg me not to leave. And I would cry every morning on my way to work, even though it was a job that I loved so much. But they're only little for so long. And so, within a little while, I caught a vision that I could grow this. Even though I was busy, I could grow this and I could impact lives, and I was having so much fun. And I put in time, but I loved that I could fit that into the nooks and crannies of my life. And so a little over a year after I started coaching, I was actually able to turn in my notice from my full-time nurse practitioner job. And the freedoms that has brought in my life are endless. I now get to build my life and build my time around what matters most to my family and I. I'm still using my love for health, for healthcare, for connecting with people and making an impact on so many lives. And not only that, but I had another baby who was previously pictured in February of this year. And so I'm still on my own health journey. I'm just a few pounds away from being back to my pre-pregnancy weight. But it has been so impactful in my own health journey to have that accountability of helping others. And honestly, another huge freedom and joy in our life has been the financial freedom that has come with coaching. And this year, like I said, about 1.5 years ago, I was able to leave my full-time job. And this year we were able to buy a dream home for us. And right before the baby came. And we've also been able to travel. We took our family to Disney, which was such a joy before COVID. And then the biggest thing though that has happened is the joy that has come from helping others, and not just my clients, but being able to see coaches on my team have freedoms from being able to coach and being able to be home with their babies has just been so cool. And now more than ever, I'm so thankful for this gift of coaching now that I have 2. And I just want to leave you with this thought, because this is something I tell my coaches, it's something I tell myself all the time, is that someone else's freedom is on the other side of your fear. So if you have been afraid to step into coaching, if it's been something that's on your heart, but you've just been afraid, push past that fear, because I am so thankful that Susan and Dee and Larry and Meg said yes and push past the fear, because I wouldn't be here and my life wouldn't have been changed if it wasn't for their yes. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Wow. Thank you. We get some hearts for Lauren for inspiring us. And it is so true. The ripple effect. I would not know any of these coaches on the line that shared tonight if it wasn't for coaching. And if you know anybody that anything resonated with tonight, you know, they know somebody that you don't and can't touch, and that you can touch a life that somebody else can't. So if you're looking and know anybody who's looking for an opportunity to serve others in the health field and wellness and make a difference and an impact, please have them connect you with the person who shared this video with you, or this opportunity night. And thank you for considering joining our mission. We're lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time, and we help the world create health and well-being. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to my guests. You've inspired us all, and have a wonderful evening. Good night, everybody.
At Optivia, our mission is to offer the world lifelong transformation, one healthy habit at a time. The prior audio contained the personal testimonials of independent coaches and clients within the Optivia community. Their results are based on the unique experiences of their journey. We cannot guarantee like or similar outcomes. We hope those stories inspire you to continue your journey with or to consider joining Optivia. But please note that they have not been verified and your individual journey to optimal health will vary. As always, it is our recommendation that you speak with a healthcare provider in the US or a doctor in Singapore and Hong Kong prior to beginning your journey with Optivia. Additionally, this audio may have contained income or earning representations of some independent Optivia coaches. We cannot guarantee financial success. Success with Optivia is derived from successful sales efforts, which require hard work, diligence, skill, persistence, competence, and leadership. Optivia acknowledges that this audio may be accessible to Optivia coaches in the US, Hong Kong, and Singapore. For independent Optivia coaches operating in the US, please see the Optivia Income Disclosure Statement for statistics on actual earnings of US coaches under the US Compensation Plan. Please note that the Income Disclosure Statement only applies to independent Optivia coaches operating in the US under the US Compensation Plan and does not in any way constitute any representations as to actual or potential accrual of benefits for Hong Kong or Singapore coaches under the International Compensation Plan. Yours in health, the Optivia team.